Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Juliuz and I'm watching the best videos of the trading industry with you together, so you don't have to do it all by yourself. Okay, today I stumbled across this video here. Tradingview's built-in AI is insane, full guide. Okay, does Tradingview has an built-in AI? I did not know that actually. I'm using Tradingview here and there, but you know it, guys, that my trading software is a different one. So let's get right into it. Almost 100,000 views after 1 week. So this seems to be kind of a topic of interest. Okay, it's by Morin Trades. First video I'm watching from him. And let's immediately get right into it. You guys leave a like and a sub really quick down below. Thank you for your support. That means a lot to me and helps the channel grow in the future. Thank you. So here we go.
Tradingview's AI is actually insane. It saves me
A little bit faster so we get through it quick.
hours every day so I can actually focus on trading as opposed to all the time-consuming work. So today I'm going to show you step by step how to use Tradingview's AI to make you a better trader.
All right.
I'm also going to be going over 4 custom prompts that I built, and they will all be available for free in the description below.
Okay, you also have to build prompts like in usual AI softwares, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatsoever.
The first step to connecting the AI to your Tradingview account is by going on Google and typing in Tradingview Copilot. Next, you're going to click on the Tradingview AI.
So it's like an extension.
Chart Copilot public beta is available now. This will be the link that you click on. Once you get to this page, simply scroll down till you get to the getting started with chart AI. It takes about 30 seconds. You'll see number 1 says install Tradingview Chart Copilot. You simply press on that button and it will bring you to a Google Chrome extension, which is where this Tradingview AI lives. As you can see, I already
So it's a Google Chrome extension. Interesting.
have the Google Chrome extension enabled. So all you have to do is add it and you'll see it pop up on the top right under your extensions. The important thing to mention is because this is a Google Chrome extension, it won't work on the Tradingview desktop version. Now with the desktop version, I have seen loads of videos where people are actually connecting Claude to Tradingview, and I tried to do this myself, but it just took way longer than I expected, and I just didn't have the patience with the constant errors. So when I stumbled across this Tradingview AI that was simply a Chrome extension and took like 20 seconds, I was much more enthusiastic in testing it, and I was actually really surprised by the performance of it relative to different LLMs. The next step is to load up Tradingview on your browser. Then you head over to the top right under extensions, and I will click on Tradingview Remix.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much straightforward. How to install it. Not that interested in that. I want to see how it works.
I'm only focused on the
And so this is his prompt that he's using in the Chrome extension. Analyze the current chart, then perform an analysis on the daily chart. So this reminds me of something I actually did for myself. I coded a very, very simple tool that I could use to analyze the current chart image. So what I did, now listen here, listen closely guys, I'm going to get in the close up here. What I did was I used my self-bought books from L. Brooks here. Those 3. Oops. Those big books here from L. Brooks Price Action Course. Trading Price Action Trends, Trading Price Action Ranges, and Trading Price Action Reversals, okay? So I used everything that is written in here, every example, every information, and put that into my AI. In this case, I used ChatGPT. Okay, put all of those informations in ChatGPT. And then with ChatGPT, I coded a little tool that analyzes my current chart image. Okay, in my trading software, I just tell this little tool, okay, now make a screenshot of the current chart and analyze it based off all of the information we have from L. Brooks. And then tell me what the right thing to do would be in this situation, okay? Wait for another confirmation, enter long, enter short, do nothing whatsoever, okay? So I coded that myself, and then I used the OpenAI API account and funded that, and with every screenshot that I take in my little tool, it's costing me a couple of cents in my OpenAI API account, okay? So the information is saved on ChatGPT, on OpenAI, and every time I do a screenshot and analyze a screenshot, it costs like a couple of cents. And I used that to analyze some charts, and it was just like a fun idea. I worked on that on a free weekend, and it was just a fun idea. And this reminds me exactly of this, okay? Now it's not based off the knowledge from L. Brooks that I used to analyze a chart, but this is pretty similar. Okay, let's continue.
closest levels to where price is currently trading. So I broke it down into two segments. I had the AI mark out the daily high time frame levels, and then
and of course, I want to mention for legal purposes that I'm not using this software for any commercial things, okay? Because this is Al Brooks knowledge, and I bought the books myself, and I'm just using the knowledge myself to analyze charts, okay? So there's no commercial use.
4-hour levels so that I could then hinge my trades off of both of them. And the result is actually...
All right. So this is the prompt, and then this AI extension is actually printing an analysis of the chart. For me, that would be a little too big of an analysis. In my personal software, it just tells me go long, go short, where to go long, where to go short, where to put a stop loss, or wait for this and that, okay? So really simple, so that I can immediately enter a trade also in a smaller time frame, like a 5-minute or something. Of course, in the 4-hour or in whatsoever, you have a little bit more time to execute and read through all of that. But I wanted quick executions in the 5-minute chart so that I am able to analyze the chart after every 5-minute candle. Costs maybe 5 cents or something, okay? Analyze that 15, 20 times a day, make $100, then the API costs are covered and everything works, okay? That was my take on coding such a software.
Pretty accurate. You know, the current market regime, just based off my own experience, is identifying that this is clearly a range-bound environment, and that's what the prompt tells me. It says the market regime on the daily chart is range-bound. It also mentions the key swing highs and lows on the daily. So the daily swing high was at 67.3K, while the daily swing low was around 57.8. And it also gives me a more or less brief reasoning behind why it chose that level, but that's something we'll get into deeper in the next prompt. Then it's also marked out the 4-hour resistance and support levels, which you'll see for the 4-hour resistance is around...
Yeah, okay, but do I really need this AI to tell me that? I can immediately see that way faster myself.
66.9, and the 4-hour support around 62.2. So when just looking at this chart, I'm like, okay, well, you know, the range high to me is very accurate. The range low is also very accurate. And if we can see that the 4-hour resistance is pretty confluent with the daily swing high, so, you know, maybe there is a high conviction setup to be taken around those levels. Now that the prompt has broken down the key levels on the chart, how does this actually help you become a better trader? And this is where our prompt number 2 comes in, which I call the trading mentor prompt.
All right. So maybe you really have to use the right prompt to get the most value out of it.
Act as my trading mentor and explain in simple terms the following bullet points so that I can understand the logic behind your conclusion. Number 1.
Is this all for free?
What did you use to define the daily regime and how does it work? Number 2, what was the logic behind each of the levels you marked on the chart, both for the 4-hour and daily? And lastly, explain how I can practice marking them out myself and provide me with...
Okay, but guys, marking support and resistance, I mean, every experienced trader can mark support and resistance immediately by just taking a 5-second look at the chart. I really do not need an explanation from this AI.
It exercises. So all I do now is paste this prompt into the Tradingview AI and see what the result is. Now let's see what the prompt concluded. Number 1 was, how did I define the daily regime, right? Are we trending or ranging? So the first cue that it used was the swing structure. It took the sequence of higher highs and higher lows in an uptrend, and then lower highs and lower lows in a downtrend. And when you're in a range-bound environment, there is actually a lack of those clear movements. In a genuine trend.
So I'm skipping a little bit. I want to see another prompt. Logic behind each level, daily swing high. This is too easy, though. I do not need an AI for that. This is why I coded all of those books into an AI, because it's really hard remembering everything that's written in those books at every point and using this information after every 5-minute candle to make an analysis. That's really hard for us to do. So this is why I used an AI, and the AI is taking work from me and helping me by just analyzing with all of those informations every chart screenshot immediately, and gives me an idea whether it would make sense to go long or to go short based off Al Brooks' knowledge. So I wanted, with my AI tool coding, make my little AI Al Brooks sitting next to me and telling me what he would do in the situation. This was the goal I was aiming for with my, of course, with my little knowledge of coding and Python and whatsoever, okay?
Number of bars on either side. So if we
have... This is not really helping me.
For example, this key swing high on the chart, what it would look at is the number of bars on the left and the number of bars on the right. And the larger the number on each side before the high is actually taken out, and that is how it concludes marking out, and it's the same concept for the daily swing lows. And then when it comes to the 4-hour levels, it simply goes based off of the number of touches and how those levels have been respected. One of the cool features that I noticed is when you're actually reading through this, whenever you click on any of the actual numbers,
Okay. Prompt 3, trading mentor.
which is my trading mentor prompt, but
Now this might get more interesting here.
for indicators. So all we're going to do is ask it the same thing. Act as my trading mentor. I want to learn about, for example, the stochastic RSI.
Yeah, all right, okay.
But if there's a specific indicator you want to learn about, then simply just change that word in the script. Then explain to me how the indicator actually operates, what is the most suitable time frame to use it on.
Yeah, but do I really need this Chrome extension for that? Basically, I just can go to Google and ask it what is the indicator RSI used for and how does it work, and then go to the AI tab, and then it's telling me everything I need to know about the RSI, how it's calculated, whatsoever. Okay, so do I really need this Tradingview extension? Maybe for examples on the current chart.
And what are the different ways that I can implement this indicator into my trading strategy? Let's get into the prompt outcome. So the stochastic RSI is a second order oscillator. It takes the RSI itself and applies the
Yeah, so this is everything that also Google Gemini told me.
no prompt.
Okay, trade setups.
Which is the
so this is what I was coding with the Albrook's knowledge. Immediately getting a setup. Enter here, enter there, likelihood of the trade working out or not, stop loss, take profit, and whether the tool would wait a little longer for an entry or if the entry right here would make sense.
Trade setup.
So just a couple of key points and then immediately be able to execute right the second I get an answer.
Prompt. Now, using the existing levels marked out on the chart and the bias that you have defined during your analysis, provide me the highest conviction trade setup that you can find. The minimum risk reward for the trade should be 2. Draw the
All right, okay, which is hard.
long and short box tool to clearly mark out the trade entry, stop loss, and target. I also want you to explain to me the reason why you chose each of these points. Levels, entry, stop, target, all of them. So let's see what kind of setup it actually is able to cook up. And here is our actual trade setup.
Okay, this gets a little more interesting. Now, okay, we immediately also get an entry, stop loss, take profit. Highest conviction trade setup. What I coded was also a percentage, the likelihood percentage of a winner. Let's say the tool is saying approximately, from all of the previous knowledge, approximately 60% of those setups will work or not, okay? Of course, this was just an approximation, but this is what I wanted to see in my AI tool.
Now, one of the things to mention is I have seen a lot of problems with having the AI pull up the P&L tool, which is just like this. And the thing that I've noticed is the P&L tool will be incorrect, especially with the stop loss placement. And then sometimes it might just find the error, but not be able to fix it. So it just won't showcase the actual P&L tool. But what it does successfully show is, where your stop loss would be, where the entry for the trade would be, and the same for the take profit. So just by our analysis,
entry short, okay, we are waiting for a retest of the current swing high, stop loss a little bit above, and take profit here. What is that? That is like 1, 2, 3, like 5 to 1 reward risk. And actually not that likely for it to work. So I'd say this trade, sorry to say that, but win chance is maybe 10 to 20%. That looks really, really unlikely that in a case scenario where we get to this point and trade short, that the market trades all the way to the low of the range again, okay? The chances of this stop loss, look how close the stop loss is, being hit is infinitely bigger.
we can see that price is...
So this is a bad trade. From my experience with my Albrook's tool, I know that that the tool would never give me this entry. Because Albrook's is basically the trend followers.
So at the moment, we are in the middle of those support levels. Now, I have a very clear rule, which is I do not diddle in the middle. So if we're in the middle of a range, I am not interested in trading. I'm waiting for price to trade the extremes, which is what the setup it's provided us is actually telling us. It wants us to wait for price to trade into the 4-hour resistance and the daily swing high. The type of setup would be, for me, a range extreme trade, which is one of my higher probability setups. It's asking me to place my stop loss above the actual daily swing high, which is the right way to do it. So you're not just wanting to place your stop right above the high, but you actually want to provide...
Yeah, but this is basically right above the high. It's so much more likely that the stop is getting hit.
A buffer so that...
So this would be really, if the market is coming all the way up here, this would be selling in a rising market with such a tight stop loss. I'd say the chances of this working out are almost 0%.
If price does go and target that daily high liquidity, you won't be stopped out and you will still be in your trade. And in terms of the profit targets, and this is telling you to target the 4-hour support,
Look at that. Nah, guys, this will never work. I mean, it might work if you're really, really lucky and the range immediately flips short again at the highs, but...
In fact, the mid-range of your daily swing high and daily swing low, which is exactly how I would play it myself. And this is pretty much one of the setups that I'm actually waiting to trade personally.
Really? Such a small stop loss. I mean, a continuation of the range is alright, okay? Market tends to continue doing what it did before. If it's ranging, then a continuation of the range might work, but not with such a tight stop loss. A little false breakout would immediately crash this trade. Like a little liquidity fish crashes this trade. So stop loss needs to be all the way up here for this to work.
So it's really interesting.
At least a little bigger, twice as big.
Interesting to see how the own logic that took me years to kind of develop
a result of this trade. Maybe I'm gonna find out myself.
Has been accurately portrayed by Tradingview's AI across identifying levels to trade, behind the logic of how to use specific indicators, and explain Tradingview's AI to set alerts at each of those key levels. That way I don't have...
we can also set an alert with the Tradingview. So this tool is nice to have. Maybe if you're using Tradingview, you can install it. But really making trading decisions based off it, I'd say this is not working. I'd rather stick with my self-code AI tool, but as a disclaimer, I'm not using that really to trade that much. That was just a fun project I had on a weekend. That's it. When I tell you guys that I'm trying everything in trading, I tried out everything, then I really mean it, okay? I'm also trying out self-programmed, self-coded AI tools, but it was just a fun project. I have my mechanical strategies that I'm trading, and I'm not trading with this tool too much. But I'd rather stick to it than relying on this Tradingview extension. Nevertheless, I want to find out how this trade worked out, because I really cannot imagine that this is working. Are we seeing a date and a chart 67? So this was Bitcoin, but I'm not sure when. This is August, maybe August 6th. Okay, guys, I think I found something. So I think about here, maybe one day later, is the point where Morin is looking at in his chart. Okay, I was not able to get into the 12-hour time frame that he is using, but rather in the daily, because I do not have Tradingview Premium at the moment. I'm not using that on a regular basis, I told you. But this is the chart that we saw. Let's go in here to show you that. Okay, so this is basically the chart we saw. Got those double top here. And he told us to enter once we reach the double top, about this level here, and then his stop loss was at this point. Yeah, and that's what I told you guys. It did not work out. This trade was completely a failure from the beginning. We broke the tops. Okay, at this point, Bitcoin actually broke out, but we broke the tops, and even if we were continuing in this range, the chance of the stop loss being hit were so big, and immediately stop loss got hit. So this was no good trade, actually. I saw that from the beginning, and the AI tool did not help. Okay, but that was interesting to see. As I told you before, if you're using Tradingview on a regular basis, try to install this AI tool. Might help you a little bit with something. If you really want some better trade executions, you might have to code an AI tool yourself, and then you need a portfolio of information that you give your AI to work with. In my case, those were the Al Brooks books with all of those price action information, and this was my base. Then my tool gave me suggestions based off that. Okay, thank you guys for watching. I think it was interesting, but it did not really change my world. This is not a big game changer, but nice to have maybe. Thank you guys for watching. This was definitely an interesting video, and we're gonna see us next time. Take care of yourself, guys. Bye bye.